Hi, this is Natalie Van Sistine, and you're watching the Infinite Ammo Syndicate podcast.
Infinite ammo.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemonsters. I am your host, Immortal Brando. Please introduce yourself to the lovely people.
Hi, I'm Natalie Van Sistine. I'm a professional voice actor, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
All right, and I'm also joined by my lovely peoples here. Renegade, you sign off. Oh, sorry, sign on.
Hello, people. My name is Renegade Operative. I am very glad to be here, and I cannot wait to hear about Natalie's experience in the voice acting industry.
Dirty Dan.
Yes, hello. I am here once again with another voice actor interview with these dudes, and we're happy to have you on, Natalie.
Thank you.
All right, Andre.
Hello, my name is Andre Bevan. It's good to have you all here. Yeah, this is gonna be really fun. I cannot wait for this interview.
And Mr. Kaneki.
Stars.
All right. I'll start off by reading number one.
Okay.
I want to start this interview with an introduction, which I already did that. So can you tell the audience about yourself and what roles you've done within voice acting?
Yeah, I've been voice acting for about 10 years professionally, and I still haven't had any really significant roles that a lot of people off the street would know me from, but I've been in a couple different anime, lots of video games, and I do tons of commercial work as well on the side too. So you may have heard me in that context as well. A couple of roles I'm really well known for, or the most well known for, I guess. I'm in the Azure Lane anime as the Siren Observer. I'm in Kimono Friends as Silver Fox. And then I'm in a lot of video games. I do probably video games the most. So I'm in Paladins as Stellar Mender Saris. I've been in Avengers Academy as Angela, Battle Raid as Freya, and a couple other titles like Phoenix Point. I'm in the Deus Ex mobile game, Ghost Giant, Forgone, and a number of other games. So that's probably what I'm more better known for. So I work a lot, but I don't know if I'm as well known yet, but those are the things I tend to be recognized for.
All right. Elsie, you don't mind me asking, but what commercials you run in?
A lot of stuff that tends to get run more on the web. For example, there was a mobile game called War Dragons where I did the voiceover for that. I've done commercials for South Dakota State University, American Diabetes Association, and then I've done web stuff for GE, for Dell, for lots of different companies. So not necessarily on TV as much, but a lot of web stuff. So you may hear me around like YouTube commercial type stuff a lot. It's funny, there was one year where one of the commercials on YouTube was running so much that it was freaking my boyfriend at the time out, because he'd be listening to YouTube in the background and then he'd hear me start talking and be like, she's not here. I know she's not here, but I can hear her voice. So.
All right. What's the real number two?
Yeah.
I can do it.
Go right ahead, man.
All right. What motivated you to pursue a career as a voice actor?
The funny part is it was sheer boredom. I was bored out of my mind. My family had just relocated about halfway across the country. I'm from Wisconsin originally, but we moved to South Carolina with my dad's job, and I had just graduated from high school, was going to a community college, and didn't have a whole lot to do with myself. I was writing a lot at the time, and my sister was getting me more familiar with places like Newgrounds, where there was indie animation, machinima type stuff coming up. And I was also interested in music at the time. So I had the idea that I might be interested in writing music for the little flash animations or stuff like that, something where I could get involved creatively. And while I was looking for different opportunities on the forums there, I saw a thread where someone was like, hey, I need a voice actor for this. I need a female who can play this type of character. and it just kind of resonated with me. I loved watching behind the scene interviews of like movies and TV shows, and anything that talked about the making of anything creative. And I thought, I have a laptop with a microphone built into it, and I know how to use Audacity. I bet I could be a voice actor. And it was really just literally just went from there. I did not book that first job, obviously, but I started doing like audio drama, radio play type stuff, and then slowly was able to branch out as more opportunities became available to do like games. And GE was one of my first clients. Actually, was narrating for a little web video for them, so it really kind of grew from there, which was awesome.
All right, that's neat. What's the real number 3? Daniel?
Sure, I'll take it. If you had the opportunity to audition for one dream role, then which character would you like to be? Tell us why that role caters to your ambition.
So, to be honest, I don't tend to have like specific dream roles so much as dream shows. As an actor, you definitely have to be really flexible about where you get placed and not to put too many eggs in one basket where you're like, I need to book this character or that will be, my career just won't be fulfilled. And we all have our individual goals, but I tend to more just be like, if I can be a part of a specific show in a specific way, that's usually where I'm at. So I've got a couple of those in mind. I think like my number one, hilariously enough, is probably Keijo. My dream is for them to get a second season. I want to be in Keijo, which is a really goofy anime show.
Everybody loves that anime.
We have a friend who really likes that show.
That show is something else.
I loved it. I had no idea that I was going to just be as like into that one as I thought. And even my friend Amber, who plays the main character in that, she was just like, after recording the end of that season, she's like, I just went out to my car and was like, that's it. I don't know how my career's gonna top this. And I'm like, I want that kind of experience, something like that. Just sounds great. It's a sports kind of competitive anime, and it's just fun and goofy and all the things I love about anime. So I think I really want to be in Keijo to just kind of check all those boxes.
I got a side question. What is your top three favorite animes?
Top 3 favorite animes. Oh God, that's a hard question. I'd say, well, my number one, always and forever, will be the original Full Metal Alchemist. Brotherhood didn't do it for me, but I love the original so dearly. So that's a big one. I am tremendously into Made in Abyss right now, too. That's another one where if I could participate in the Made in Abyss dub at some point, that would be great. But I really love Made in Abyss. I read the manga for that one and everything. So that's another one. And then the other one that's ringing around in my brain is I love Gankutsuo, the Count of Monte Cristo adaptation, which Jameson Price in the lead role in that one is just chef's kiss, just amazing. So those are some of my very favorites anyway.
Yeah, you're the few people that say that prefer the original Full Metal Alchemist anime over Brotherhood.
That's my unpopular anime opinion. Is I still.
I would ask a question, but you didn't like the story of Brotherhood, just like how the characterization was?
For me, it leaned like I like shoujo anime as much as anyone, but for me, it leaned almost a little too hard into that world where it was harder for me to really get into it as much. The pacing also I struggled with, like it felt really uneven, whereas I think I hit the original Full Metal Alchemist just at the right time in the right place, that to me it just couldn't be outdone at that point, and everything else just didn't feel quite right to it. So I think that's probably why, if I had to guess.
That's fair. I can understand where you're coming from, because I know some people that really, they like Brotherhood, but they said that it's not perfect. It's got its flaws.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's bad necessarily. It just didn't work for me personally, is all.
Yeah.
You know, I don't necessarily agree with liking the original over Brotherhood though, but I actually can relate to you on another thing. Like with Dragon Ball, for example, Z particularly.
Yeah.
I prefer the original run over the Kai version because people like the Kai version because it's more
Facts.
faithful.
Yeah.
But I prefer the original because I liked all the other episodes, including the fillers, and plus Bruce Falconer's music nails the atmosphere of Dragon Ball. So I prefer watching that over the Kai version.
Yeah.
I like
Well, and
I
that's
like
the
Kid.
wonderful thing that they have the multiple versions, so you can consume it in whichever version
Yeah.
kind of works for you, which is good.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I miss the old Kid Goku's voice.
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I grew up with that one a lot.
The new vocal performances, they take time getting used to. They're not bad, but it's just like when you've heard
No,
the old voice actors so much, it takes time getting used to the new one.
a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
All right. I guess we can move on to what question was it? Number 4?
Yeah, number 4 is the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Do you have any other voice actors that you appreciate in the industry? Like any personal favorites you like to name off or inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to give a shout out to. I work with Amberly Connors, Marissa Lenti, Emily Fajardo, and Howard Wang a lot at Sound Cadence Studios. So they've just been an incredible community and such a huge help for helping me grow my community and my opportunities to be able to do more voiceover, especially in anime right now. So I love working with them. They've been great, and I think they're just all incredibly stupid talented. I think I mentioned Jameson Price. I love in like Godzilla was great. J. Michael Tatum, I adore. I got to take a class with him actually last summer, and he's just one of the people where you meet, and he just really is genuinely like the real thing, and is just as talented, but also as kind and personable as you would hope he would be. So he's great. So I really, really enjoy their work as well too.
All right. We could read number 5. Andre, want to read that off?
Sure. Number 5. Have you ever been to any big fan conventions? If not, do you have any plans to try them out after COVID is over?
Yeah, I've gone to a lot of conventions. I really do enjoy them. I love going, and Artist Alley is one of my favorite places. I love getting the chance to see new up and coming artists. I've got like all kinds of prints that I hang up in my room all the time. So from like a creative perspective, I find them very enjoyable and fulfilling. Dragon Con used to be like my favorite con to go to. That was like the highlight of my year and the big thing I'd prepare for and enjoy going to. So I definitely say Dragon Con's my favorite. I'm hoping to come back again in the next year or two. I was debating flying out this year before COVID went down, and so I'm kind of sad that didn't work out. But I love going to Dragon Con. I've been to a couple others though. I hated it. AX. That was just a nightmare. I do not recommend that one.
Funny enough, actually the funny thing is I went to AX and oh god, it wasn't the worst convention I've been to, but it was. It was
I'm
really...
sorry if you went to one even worse than that.
Okay, I heard a horror story where apparently someone like went to the hospital with heat stroke because they were staying in line for like 6 to 7 hours. It was pretty crazy.
It was bad. It was real bad. I was not in great shape by the time we finally got into the convention center.
AX is the largest anime convention, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just not real pleasant to go to as an attendee. I have no idea. I've not been invited as a guest or anything there, so I couldn't tell you what that experience is like. But it just seems like in the past 5-6 years, it just has not been as well organized, and it's just really unfortunate because I think it has the potential to be a great convention, and I hope it is again someday.
Yeah, it's way too much going on for it.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll continue to improve. Yeah, hopefully they'll continue to improve. I just didn't have a great experience the time I went, so I'm not as big of a fan of that one. Whereas, like, again, Dragon Con has a bunch of people as well, but it's been going for so long and it's so well managed that once you start to figure out where you're going, it's really a much more enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I've yet to been to an anime convention. I doubt I will at this rate. Give it time. But
Oh, well, hopefully I'll get the chance. They are really fun. I really enjoy them. My first was Otakon, and that was a really fun one to go to. I went with Edward Bosco, I think, that year, and I basically like was following him the whole time because I didn't know where I was going and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
all right. Hey, I'm Renegade. Can you read number 6? Good man.
Alrighty. As a professional voice actor, are you a fan of film, theater, or television? Did it influence your career personally? Hello, Natalie?
Yeah, I definitely enjoy all three in different ways. Oh,
Oh, everything's fine. Yeah, it's
are you
fine.
able to hear me? Oh, okay. All right. Good. Yeah, I definitely enjoy all three. I actually got my bachelor's degree in film, specifically in sound design and sound editing for film. So I definitely have a huge appreciation for it. I think it did influence my career because when I was in middle school, high school, I was really getting into how films were made, especially when the Lord of the Rings extended editions came out and they had two different discs just full of bonus features about what it was like to work on set and what it was like to create all of the music, the costumes, and just everything that went into the set design, location scouting, everything. I just really fell in love with that whole process and what it would be like to work on these giant productions. And even though I don't work in the film industry, like the traditional film industry, as much too, I still, that was really influential for me. I just enjoying that medium and enjoying getting to see how everything came together. I was able to get a good sense of this is so cool. This is something I'd like to participate in, and then it was really fun to go to film school and be able to study what makes film really good. And so my focus was more in film than theater or television. And so that just really helped broaden my appreciation. I think makes me a better artist, makes me a better creative on the side. And so yeah, they definitely do tie in a lot of ways because it's still creating visual media, especially when it comes to games and anime. It definitely ties back in.
Hmm. I see.
All right. All right. I guess I'll read number 7.
Mhm.
What are typical mistakes that you can make in regarding the voice acting?
With what I tend to see a lot of, I mean, there's plenty of things, and depending on who you talk to, different people say you should or shouldn't do different things. So there's a lot of it is subjective. What I personally tend to see and would caution anyone who is pursuing it is I do see right now it is very competitive, and because of the rise of social media and you're constantly seeing people talk about the projects they're in and the things that they got to do but you might not have gotten to do or anything like that, it can be incredibly challenging to deal with your sense of FOMO, fear of missing out, of feeling like you haven't lived up to your goals, to your dreams yet, or that you haven't made it yet. I've been doing this for 10 years and sometimes I still slip into that. So I think that if you are considering being a voice actor or an actor of any type, a performer, uh, any type of creative, even like a streamer, that I think is one of the biggest mistakes is people worrying about have they made it yet? Have they crossed off their bucket list? Have they done it when they've only been working for a couple with a year or only a couple of years? And so I think that's the biggest hole that we all have to worry about falling into and be careful is that we're not focusing on what we haven't done, but being able to look at what we have done and how the trajectory of our career is continuing to go. And are we continuing to make strides? Are we continuing to be able to accomplish more and more each year? And are we happy with our lives? Can we pay our bills? Can we just function and be happy? So I think tempering your expectations, just being happy when you do continue to advance and being happy for the opportunities you do get without worrying too much about competing with anyone else.
Okay. That's a mouthful. Digest.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was great. Very well done.
Thank you.
Okay, Kaneki, you have the honors of reading number 8.
Ooh, and this one's a good question. How do you feel about screaming in a voice acting session? It was illustrated that Sean Shamel passed out during a situation like that, the Super Saiyan 3 situation. How would you prepare if you were tasked to do this?
Screaming is kind of part and parcel
Mhm.
with doing voice acting, especially in anime or video games. Video games, especially, being even more so. I actually haven't had to do a lot of screaming in anime sessions, but I do it all the time with video games. And then I've been in Death Battle a number of times too. I play Wonder Woman and Black
Oh,
Widow,
nice.
and so
Oh
yeah, those are really
yeah.
fun.
You did a great
So
job
those,
as both of them.
Thank you. Thank you. Those are really fun. And I really have to say that one I have to give total props to the director on that show, Marissa Lenti, because she is just a master at understanding how to not only perform good at fight efforts and screams and yells and stuff, but also how to direct people to do that. So there have even been times where I'm working on I actually worked on a game recently where I was recording on my own, and I literally was like, "Hey, I want to have you listen to this and tell me if how these sound." And she had some wonderful advice and was able to tell me where I was misinterpreting certain stuff or how to better give the client better options for certain different efforts. So I definitely, for me, I don't mind doing it. I understand that's part of my job and something I have to prepare for. So for me, though, what really helps is working with a really good director who has a strong idea of what they want from those type of noises, but as well how to direct me to do them and do them in a safe way. So I love working with directors like Marissa. And if I'm preparing for a session like that too, where I know I'm going to have to yell and where I'm going to have to do a lot of things, I tend to use singing to warm up a lot to stretch my range. It also helps you if you're doing like especially like Broadway type music, build up the breath support you need. And because that's what happens a lot is when you are doing a lot of those efforts, you tend to like be short of breath really quick. And in like a short death battle session, like death battle takes me 20-25 minutes at most to record. And even by the end of that, even though it's really short, I am sweating so heavily. And it takes a lot of work to be able to create those kind of noises. So when you've got someone like Sean, who's been doing this for years and years and has to scream so much, he was probably in the booth going at it for a couple of hours and just finally hit whatever level. So it takes a lot of preparation. I actually personally hoping to study with someone who teaches opera in the next year because to me that's the best way I can possibly start building up my breath support even more.
And to
Hmm.
correct myself from earlier, it was the Super Saiyan 4 where he passed out because he
Mm.
had to scream for that long.
Oh my gosh, I can't even fathom. Like that's another level I haven't hit yet. I've had to do a good amount of screaming, but I haven't had anything like that yet. And I can only imagine how taxing that would be. So he's a real pro to be able to do that.
Oh yeah, because you have to take care of your voice, especially after like
Mhm.
a really long session like that. Because I know like Crispin Freeman with Alucard, he said that there were times when he had to take several days off from doing the voice.
Mhm.
It's just so strenuous, you know.
Yeah, you do definitely have to be really, really careful too. That's the other thing to keep in mind. So for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Daniel, we're real number 9.
Number 9. All right. What was your favorite role to do thus far?
Like anime and video game specifically, to see just like narrow it down better for you. I know it's hard
Gotcha.
picking one.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean I tend to be like I love all my children and I think all my roles kind of situation where I just feel very lucky to get to do what I do. So for me, any role is kind of my favorite because I'm getting paid to do what I love, and it's really just flooring to me that I still get to do that. For anime, I still can't talk about my favorite one. So my other one that has been announced was probably my first role, which is Rosa Canyon in Rio Rainbow Gate, which we did recorded that about 4 years back now, which is blowing my mind. It's been that long. And that one was really fun because that was my first anime role, and also her main feature episode was really hilarious because Rosa is this character who kind of lives at this casino where the main character works, and she's this kind of washed up almost actress, and she gets possessed by the ghost of the previous owner of this casino, and she's just running around trying to thwart this, I think, a deal related to the casino. It's been a couple of years since I recorded for it, but I just remember it being really goofy because she's being possessed by this ghost. She's really sleepy all the time, can't understand why she's putting on weight because the ghost apparently loved to eat chicken wings. And so whenever she's possessed, she's running around like tackling people, trying to eat all the chicken wings she can find. And it's just a really, really fun, goofy episode. And it was such a blast to record. I really enjoyed that one.
Sounds like me, honestly, with chicken wings, but
Sounds like what Ren should be doing.
No, this is like the female version of Goku right here. Also, I'm not going to acknowledge Kaneki because he's beneath me. No, I'm just kidding.
Why you acknowledge me then, folks?
You just did it.
No, I didn't now, so it's all good. But we can move to the next question.
hey, Ray, you
Ren
beat
loves
it
me
off.
too much.
Let's see. Which one is that? We did number 9, number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are there any future roles that you could potentially talk about to get us excited? If it's under NDA, then it's perfectly fine to proceed with discretion.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I can't talk about yet that I am looking forward to. But as far as things I can talk about, I'd say there is a game I'm in that I really enjoyed recording for. It's a I think it's a Metroidvania style game called Foregone, and it takes place on an alien planet. You play this badass space marine type chick who's killing aliens, and so I get to play the main character, which I love. She's got this awesome mohawk, and it just looks really pretty, really clean, and I'm looking forward to being able to play that one myself. So I do recommend that one. And on top of that one, also there's a new DLC expansion for a game called Phoenix Point, which is made by the original creator of the XCOM series. So I play a significant character in that new DLC named Helena. That just dropped. So those are a couple things coming up that I can talk about that I really did enjoy working on.
Phoenix Point, the game I've yet to try out yet.
Man.
I have a
I'm
big
terrible
backlog.
at strategy games, so I could not tell you anything about how good it is because I have no basis of reference. But it looks really cool. It's like it's Lovecraftian horror, so I love that. That I'm here for.
Oh yeah, same. That's always cool.
All right. Hey, Andre, when we have number 11?
Oh sure, definitely. Okay, number 11. Have you ever done things like full body mocap, which is featured in video games? If you haven't, then would you be privy to the idea?
Absolutely, I would be privy to it. I have not gotten to do it, but I would love to try. There's not a whole lot of opportunities for that where I'm located out in Dallas. I know my friend Emily, she got to do that for Borderlands. They only did her face mocap basically. So that sounded really cool. And that's something I'd love to be able to do. I don't know if I'll get a lot of opportunity, but maybe more game stuff will move down to Texas because I'd love to do that. That sounds great.
Yeah, come to my state.
Oh.
I'll say, yeah, come to my state.
It'd be cool if you were in the next Persona game or Shin Megami Tensei. That'd be nice.
Oh, that would be really fun. I'd enjoy that. I don't know if I'd get to do mocap though, but that'd still be fun. I'd do it.
There's a lot of talking. I know that for much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the best. You can get a lot of work out of that.
Yep.
I got a side question. I'm not sure if this was asked or not because I did step out at one point, but if there was one character that you could voice act in any medium, what would it be? Like, just specifically a character.
Oh, gotcha. 100% She-Hulk. I want to be She-Hulk. That is, she's my favorite Marvel character, and I whatever capacity, I want to be She-Hulk.
Well, I mean, you know, there is that new Avengers game that's out, and they are putting in,
Wink,
you know,
wink,
post-game
wink.
content. You know, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
you can join.
Look, we
Oh,
all
wait,
vote for
spoiling
Natalie.
already. What's going on?
We all vote for Natalie if she gets that 100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
Yes.
you guys.
Yes.
Oh
I
yeah,
appreciate it.
let's hope, man. That would be great to see.
I'm waiting for my Ultraman comic crossover supposed to come out.
Ooh.
Yeah,
All right.
Marvel's doing that crossover with Ultraman. Oh, I'm sorry, Brandon.
Mm.
Oh, that's fine. Actually, that's cool. I didn't know they're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually. Yeah, very nice.
And time for me to read up to the last question. Potentially last question. Are there any tips would you like to give to any aspiring voice actors? You know, any experienced voice actors? You know, any tips, pointers, suggestions, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I definitely recommend having kind of the attitude I had with it where, if you have a laptop, if you have any kind of microphone and you have a way to record yourself, like with Audacity, it's a free program. Just give it a try and see what you think of it. I think a lot of people get caught up in their head that you have to have a specific type of voice or an acting background or anything. I'd done some theater in high school, but I really didn't have any kind of performing background. I just was a dumb kid who wanted to try it and thought it was cool. And um, so I recommend just going for it because the worst case scenario, you can discover it's not for you, but at least you gave it a try and you took the chance and you tried something different. And it can be really fun. And the nice thing is about voiceover right now is that you really don't need to do it professionally to be able to do it. There are tons of people who do it as a passion project or as passion work, hobbyist work, where they're doing indie animation, they're doing podcasts. Audio drama and podcast is really popular right now, and it's a lot of people who just want to go out and make something. And if you're having trouble auditioning for stuff when you're first getting started and you haven't been able to get anything, go out and make your own things too, and then put yourself in that. You can do comic dubs, you can do again audio drama, you can do all these different things. I just say go out and do it, try creating something, and then surprise yourself and see what you're capable of.
You know, I'm glad you say that too because we also know some people that do indie stuff, like indie voice acting. Because I'm friends with one of them very closely. No, but I'm glad you say that because it's kind of like a stigma against that kind of field of work though, because people seem to forget where they came from because it's not easy to get into the industry, And people
And that's
always
the
like,
best way to get in. You should definitely do it. Oh, I was going to say that's just the best way for you to get started is just to go out and do the indie stuff and get the experience. That's where pretty much everyone I know who got into it started because we just wanted to make stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I think making your own stuff can usually help you. Like it can kind of help you like with your skills, especially when you're like really starting to voice act.
Yeah. Yep.
all right, does anybody have any like last minute questions? Anything?
I think that's
Going
it.
once, going twice. So to the lady in red dress. All right.
That's my line.
It was a whole city, sir. Me, not you. Okay.
Was it your line?
It was.
All right. So I guess it's time for us to do outros, right? So I guess I'll go first. You could find me on Twitter at Immortal Brando, and everything else is none of your business. All right, Renegade. You go.
Dang, man.
You can find me on Twitter at rentoperative_. You can find me on
No, we
YouTube.
won't.
Shut up. You can find me on YouTube at Renegade Operative. I'll be hanging out with these clowns at the IAS on the Infinite Ammo Syndicate channel. I think next week is movie night for us, so we're probably gonna be watching some Resident Evil Apocalypse, and
Joy.
it's gonna be something.
All right, Daniel, my man, you go.
Yes, you can find me mostly on Twitter at the Dirty Dan _. And yeah, that's about it mostly for now.
All right, Andre.
You can find me at Andre B. Venom at Twitter, just Andre B. Venom. And if you excuse me, I'm off to steal Kamoshida's heart.
All right, Kaneki, where can we find you?
Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, under the same name as School War Order, where you can see me beat up Ren in fighting games.
No, he
He's a
won't.
scrub and he knows it.
No,
Yeah,
he won't.
that's a fact.
Almost
You
beat
called us
McKay.
clowns, so it's only fair.
Hey, fair game.
Oh, that is a true statement.
Oh, that you lose? Yeah.
No.
Alrighty.
All right. And last but not least, Miss Natalie, where can we find you? And also, do you have anything like shameless plugs, like you want to promote? I think you already did this already with certain games though, but you want to do it again?
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at N Van Sistine, spelled Van is the vehicle, Sistine is the Sistine Chapel, all one word, and Van Sistine on Twitter. And then, I think I talked about some of the games coming up. I think the only other one I can think of that's coming out is the next chapter of National Park Girls, which is another series I'm in and really enjoy recording for. So that one's coming out too. And yeah, I'll talk about pretty much anything I'm in, and then also post pictures of my dog a lot on Twitter. So that's mainly what my feed is. I'm not really spicy.
Look,
Therapy
we all love dogs. It's the perfect
to follow.
feed.
Yes.
Time to follow. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it's to follow for Doge.
Oh, thank
love-
you.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
a tiny
we'll
little fuzzy
definitely
nugget,
thank you.
so give him all the love.
All right.
Good
And
boy.
thank you to everybody that's watching this. So, and once again, thank everybody here for this lovely interview.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. And we're about to sign out. So have a good one, everybody.
Now, where's my money?
Jesus.
Where's my
Where's my money?
I'm joking.
Where's my money?